It's taken me over 150 videos to finally talk about tablets, and that's mostly just because I haven't tried very many. What I've been using still works fine, and so I haven't felt the need to get any new ones. Still though, I think it's hard to know what kind of tablet works best for you if you only ever stick with one. Huion asked me if I'd like to try their Kamvas 13 tablet and talk about it, and so the time for me to try something new has finally arrived. If you're looking into getting a new tablet, then this will be a great video for you. But even if you aren't, I hope you'll still learn some more about how tablets work and get a good sense of what you might like to have for your own setup in the future. Since not many people talk about or differentiate between the various types of tablets you can get, here's a brief overview. There are screenless tablets that you can plug into your computer and look up at your monitor as you draw on the tablet's simple flat surface. On the other side of things, there are computers, laptops, and iPads that work as a tablet on their own, allowing you to use a stylus directly on their screen, like a computer and tablet combined. I've got a Surface Pro 7, a laptop that falls into this category. Then there's the third type, which is a halfway blend between the first two, a display tablet that you plug into your computer or laptop and pretty much acts as a second monitor that you can draw on. This is what the Kamvas 13 is. If you prefer drawing directly on a screen and already have a computer or laptop you can plug it into, then this type of tablet is probably the best option for you. The Kamvas 13 comes with a battery-free pen and this cool donut-shaped pen holder, which also has replacement nibs for the stylus inside. This is an entirely new concept to me. Then there's another art glove for my collection, a screen cleaning cloth, some wires with which to plug it in, and finally, you should probably get it with a stand if you don't already have something to sturdily prop it up with. I might also use this stand for my sketchbook, good for multiple purposes. Ideally, whatever device you want to plug this into has both a USB port for this rectangular shaped plug and an HDMI port, which should take a plug shaped like this. My laptop doesn't have an HDMI port, so if you have the same deal, you can order an adapter for pretty cheap. Then you're good to go. I admit I didn't find the initial setup very intuitive, and had to do a bit of troubleshooting for some problems and confusions I had. You really can't get far without watching and reading tutorials, but Huion does have some of their own pretty helpful ones. And now that everything's the way I want it, and I know how to work the settings, all I really need to do is plug it in and get straight into drawing. I was surprised by how thick the stylus is compared to the one that goes with Surface products, but it's really grown on me. I'd say I prefer it. It feels easier to grip lightly without it sliding out of my hand at random moments while I'm working. The pen pressure feels good, and it registers light touch pretty well. It can be a real pain if a tablet doesn't register light pressure, so this is important to me. When you first turn it on, the tablet will mirror the same thing as what's on your computer or laptop screen, and because the people need to know, I tried dual wielding and drawing on both screens at the same time to test what would happen. Both styluses registered, and the marks they made merged into one giant one, and it lagged quite impressively. I'm going to break this thing. I realized that in order to find more settings, you're supposed to download the tablet's driver app from Huion's website. Here, you can program these buttons, which was one of the things I found incredibly easy. I just put in what I wanted each one to do, according to what keyboard shortcuts I use on my laptop. I thought getting comfortable with using these buttons as shortcuts would be a difficult transition, but I took to it pretty much immediately. They're fun to press, and it makes me happy. They press really easily and don't stick, which is great. From top to bottom, I've got Save, Mixer Brush, Zoom, Increase Brush Size, Decrease Brush Size, the regular brush, Eyedropper, and Eraser. Then, on the stylus, I set these two buttons to Undo and Deselect. There are more keyboard shortcuts I use than buttons to assign them to, so having a keyboard within reach still seems pretty necessary, although I only need it for my less frequently used shortcuts. If the buttons aren't your style, you could also just stick to a keyboard. Another thing I was worried about was getting used to panning and zooming without being able to tap and pinch like on a touchscreen device, which the Kamvas 13 is not. It only registers the pen. Using buttons and the Photoshop tools for moving around the canvas instead felt fine to me though. My only wish is for when changing the brush size with the buttons, it adjusts faster than it does when you hold down. It goes pretty fast using keys on my laptop, and this speed is much more ideal for changing my brush size quickly. Here, the fastest I can get it to go is by spam pressing it. It's not a huge deal, but I might end up just using my keyboard for toggling the brush size instead, or just in general. One cool feature is that you can also turn off the tablet screen and use it like a screenless tablet. It's been a long time since I've used a tablet like this, so it was fun to try. Might not use it like this too often, but it's nice that that's an option if at times you'd rather just be looking at your main device screen. Like I mentioned earlier, the default is that the tablet will show the same thing as on the device you have it plugged into, which, if you aren't really interested in the art of dual wielding, is really just a waste of precious real estate. What I find most valuable about this particular type of tablet is that you can set it as a second monitor, so then you can display all of your references on your laptop or whatever device you have, instead of having to shrink your drawing space to fit them. I've got my laptop on a laptop stand above the tablet where I can see it easily. I forgot how second monitors work, and so when I first dragged Photoshop from my laptop down to the tablet, I got a bit unreasonably excited. Having a second monitor is awesome. I've also put Word up on the Kamvas 13 to do my homework. Very useful. Here's the finished artwork I made in this video. Thank you to Huion for sending me this tablet. I'm for sure going to be using it a lot. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos on tablets, or if there's a different type of video you'd rather see. That'll be it for now. Thanks for watching!